Hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Leticia. I'm a bodybuilder, online coach, business owner, and today I want to talk about the importance of action over perfection. And what kind of inspired this episode specifically was the fact that the last YouTube video that I posted in an empty room, right? But today we made some progress. I got my lights up, I got my stereo back there. The message that I had for that episode was very, very important to me. It kind of was something that just kind of popped in my head, but I figured, why not make the video? Why not now? I wasn't going to wait for my office space to be done. It's still not done, for the record. But the biggest thing is action is what drives us forward, and momentum is what is going to get us from point A to point B. So, why would we wait for something to be perfect? Why would we wait for something to be done when we have the power to impact now? Right. And I think this kind of brings me back to a lot of the things that I have talked about for myself for this coming year, the goals that I have set for myself, the things that I expect out of myself, the way that I'm raising my own standards is perfectly reflected by just that. I have decided in 2026, I want to sit at tables that I don't belong at. I want to be shaking hands with people that I feel like I don't even deserve to be meeting. I want to be surrounded by people that are completely out of my league. And what I mean by that is I plan to surround myself by extremely successful people. And that is something that I have already started to do. And I want to feel uncomfortable. I want to put myself in a position where I need to grow because otherwise I'm just going to stay stagnant. And that's not something that I want. We are not meant to stay stagnant. I think this is something that I talked about in my last video as well. We are not meant to stay stagnant. We are not meant to not grow and evolve and change on this journey that we call life. So, my biggest goal for 2026 is literally that I just plan to put myself in extremely uncomfortable positions and extremely out of my element type of situations for a positive reason. Some things that I have started to do, I even started before 2026, was I started a mentorship for my coaching business. And the biggest thing that has driven me through this mentorship so far is the fact that I'm surrounded by people that are absolutely freaking crushing it. Like, I'm sitting here with my 8 clients, and I love all of my clients to death. I think that I have the greatest job in the world, but I know that I also want to scale my business and I also want to be able to level up my coaching and my abilities as a coach to be able to serve my clients best. And these people that I am surrounded by are absolute freaking beasts. And I have learned so much already in such a short amount of time. I'm four three or 4 weeks into my mentorship right now, and I am surrounded by people, like I said, that are absolutely crushing it. I'm surrounded by people who are just starting their business, but I'm surrounded by way more people who have been at this for years and have been in the game for years and who are absolutely crushing it every freaking week. And it's completely inspiring, and I feel very much like the small fish in a big pond. And that is exactly what I want. I don't want to be in a position where I am a top performer. I don't want to be in a position where I'm the person that everybody looks up to. I want to look up to people because that is what pushes me and that is what makes me want to become better consistently. And I think it's a little bit tough. There's a little bit of a gray line, but it's nice to have people who look up to me. It just in my like normal day-to-day life, but at the same time, what is like where does that put me if I also don't have people to kind of look up to, if that makes sense? And so putting myself in a situation where I'm completely uncomfortable and completely just out of my element is the only way that we're going to see growth. That's the only way that we are going to get better because now I have resources that I can give back to my clients because I'm surrounded by so many knowledgeable coaches who have so much experience in so many different areas. And anytime my client comes to me now and has an issue of some sort that maybe I haven't dealt with firsthand, I have resources to be able to help get that client from point A to point B without there being a long turnover. Because previously, when I'm just doing this on my own without a mentorship or without like a group of individuals who are on a similar journey, it would just be up to me to make sure that I do my own research and kind of just be very thorough with everything. And I still plan to do that and I still do learn along the way. But being able to be surrounded by people who have so many different experiences in so many different areas has been such a great thing for my coaching business because I have answers and I'm able to give my clients solutions and we're able to get things moving and continue the momentum without slowing us down. So, I think this has already been very positive. I feel completely out of my element. Like I said, I'm completely uncomfortable. I feel like I have been playing it small this whole entire time, and I have my work cut out for me. I already have areas that I'm improving in. I already have areas where I know I can still improve and where I still need to improve. And I think I just have this very clear roadmap that gives me a lot of hope and it keeps me very much motivated. I am somebody who needs something to work towards. I can't just not have a specific goal in mind. And so, having a very clear roadmap of what is necessary for me to get to where I want to go is very, very helpful. And then also, because I have, these very high standards that I have to live up to, it just pushes me to continue to get better. And I think that's the biggest thing that I needed for coming into this year. And it's even crazier to think that we are literally 3 weeks in. Yeah, 3 weeks into 2026. And so much has already changed in the past 3 weeks that I'm very optimistic and very hopeful for this coming year. But to kind of tie back a little bit to what we were talking about, you don't need perfection, you need action. Success is going to be built off of action and momentum, not perfection. And perfection slowed me down for a really long time. Perfection slowed me down to the point of inaction in so many different areas, whether that was in my business, whether that was in pursuing not just bodybuilding, but pursuing fitness in general. And for the longest time, I needed everything to be absolutely perfect. I needed all of my ducks to be perfectly in a row before I made any moves. And that was setting me back so far. The biggest thing that I have learned is the only way to succeed in any area of life is to fail. So instead of worrying about things being perfect right off the bat, whether it's fitness related, whether it's life related, whether it's work, whether it's personal life, whatever it may be, if you're waiting for perfection, you are holding yourself back. There are so many opportunities that are passing you by because you are not taking the action. You are not taking the first steps to get to where you want to go because you're waiting so long and you're holding on to this perfection or this idea of perfection that doesn't exist. The only way to be successful is to fail over and over and over and over again. And I think that's the biggest part of this process is not waiting for the perfect time. The most successful people are the people who act on an idea as soon as they have it. And I plan to be one of those people. I have done so many imperfect things just in these last 3 weeks alone, but I think that is the part that keeps me hopeful because I'm willing to do the imperfect things and I can refine it along the way. If something doesn't come out perfectly the first time, it's not a big deal because I can redo it and I can circle back to it and then I can make it better. And then I have not only done the action once, but now I have touched back on it and I have done it again, which is only going to push you even further in the future. Whereas if I just stayed in this one spot until I thought it was perfect, I would have maybe moved up a couple steps. So, biggest takeaway for this is to stop letting imperfection slow you down. I cannot even begin to say how many years I spent being a perfectionist and wanting everything to be perfect. And I think a lot of that was just stemming from wanting to be perceived a certain way, wanting to be liked. And the biggest thing that I've learned on this planet is the best thing you can do is just be yourself. There is nobody else like you. And you deserve to live in a world where you are your full authentic self. You are not living up to anybody else's expectations. You're not living to anybody else's standards but your own. But the fact is, those standards on the inside still do need to raise over the course of your life. If your standards stay stagnant, then you stay stagnant. So I live up to my own standards. I do what makes me happy, what I see moving me forward. Nobody else's opinions matter unless I'm paying you, of course. Like my mentors' opinions do matter to me because I'm paying for that service. I'm paying you to tell me how to get better. But outside of mentors, coaches, and people that I aspire to be like, I'm not taking advice from anybody else. I'm not taking opinions from anybody else. I do not accept opinions for anything if I do not either ask for your opinion or if I do not plan to move my life in a direction that is similar to yours. So, all of that to say, 2026 is the year of action over perfection. 2026 is the year of momentum that leads to success. And 2026 is the year of abundance and clarity and empowerment. I'll see you in the next one.